Darts take flight, we gather together, chasing the night. With every throw, we aim for the bull. Scottish lads, wisdom making our hearts full. So grab your darts, let's find our lane.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Scottish Lad Darts channel. In today's video we're doing something different. As you'll see, there's two people on the screen and there's not just myself.
Hello.
So what we're doing is an interview with Ricky the Beard Barber, who is the founder of the Digital Darts Online. Check out the website, the link will be in comments and description of the video. So just a wee bit about yourself, Ricky. Fire away.
Hello, thanks for having me. And first of all, before anything else, I do have my little boy in the house. So if you hear any noise in the background, I do apologise, but I've got nowhere to put him. So a little bit about myself. I've been playing darts for about 15, 16 years. Didn't really touch the online scene until a couple of years ago when we first met, funnily enough. And to be honest, I've been playing in pub leagues for years, got a little bit fed up, had some breaks and stuff like that, as many of us have, and generally just obsessed with the sport now. And this was before the Littler effect.
The Littler effect's been a great thing for darts, obviously, as we all know. But the online side is taken, obviously, by storm as well, as you came yourself with the DDO.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it, the DDO, and how did it come about?
So this actually came about a little bit by accident. So I was working in a bank a few years ago, and the situation with our newborn and our household meant that I had to stop working there because I couldn't do my job working from home with him. We also couldn't sit there twiddling our thumbs, so I was playing darts anyway in the house. It's an ongoing joke that I said I wouldn't move down to Essex, where I currently live with my partner, unless she allowed me to put a board up. Now, with the DDO, it came about actually originally from Attitude Darts. I know you was a part of meeting us when we first set that up and when I was trying to learn a lot more about graphics and stuff like that. What it was is I was playing online darts and I was looking around trying to get an all-in-one solution for things, and it was absolutely frustrating the hell out of me that I couldn't go to one place for your leagues, your tournaments, your conversations, your buying darts and everything else. Digital Darts Online has come as a result of that. And also a big shout out to my co-director, which is my other half. You guys know her as Freaky Squirrel. I know her as Amy. And it was basically her that said, well, why don't you do something with this, what you enjoy?
So expanding a wee bit on the DDO, can you tell us a wee bit about yourself and the team behind the Digital Darts Online?
Yeah, so there are three directors. One I will just call Jay, because he doesn't like to be in public, but he is the genius behind the technological side of our operation, if you like. He is the guy who codes and builds the website. Me and my partner are the other two directors. And basically, I'm the guy that's obsessed and plays far too much darts and knows far too much about it. It's scary. I may not always be very good, but I know a lot about it. My other half is an expert due to her background in sort of HR and processes, which you'll find if you go on there. We've got very detailed policies. That is because of Freaky or Amy, whichever one you want to call her. That we are the main sort of directors, but we've got a much wider team. With that team, and it's a team of absolutely amazing volunteers. We've got a team of admins, and now these guys, they spend their time helping to support us, literally doing things that I would consider a job in most circumstances. In the case of a couple of them, they've helped us set up the Ipswich real life event we did a few months ago, and that went down seemingly a storm. We've had a lot of questions about it since. We will be going back to them, but because of the tour card and the new stuff coming in, we've had to pause that for the time being, just because there's only one pair of hands, as it were. In addition to that, we've got a massive mod team. Honestly, they do loads of small, what are considered small and individual jobs, but they add up to be something absolutely incredible. There is always someone on hand who can help you, all because of these amazing volunteers.
And as I've said before to you, as well as the other members of the team, it's run fantastic. There's very rarely an issue when it comes to any sort of things like that. And obviously, just a wee quick one, this is kind of the start of the podcast here, but obviously we had recently the Content Creators Premier League.
Yes.
Which was, I thought that went down great.
It did, and I got my rear end handed to me on the final.
Just like a plug for myself there, I was the first one to get a 180 in that event.
Hey, you are going to cling to that, aren't you?
I am, so yes. I mean, granted, I didn't play very well in it, but it was on a week-to-week basis, I could see the improvements in my game, so it was always an added thing.
Yeah, it was a brilliant practice, and we do intend to bring another level to the Premier League in the near future. We're aiming to have 8 players next time, because obviously we only had the 4 just to trial it, because of having the 2 board cams and seeing how it would work from a live stream perspective. What we're hoping to achieve, really, is to raise the profile for online darts, and obviously the DDO as a result of that, and start bringing everything to one place, so you can have your live streamed matches, you can have your leagues, you can have your tournaments. Under 18s, this is an important one actually. Although they can't pay for a tour card, we've kept a free section, which I'll go into later on, which means that they'll always be able to play as well, I should say, pay. The idea being that we want this to be as open as we can for everyone, except those who break, obviously, the obvious rules around cheating and stuff like that. We don't want them.
That's it. Given for any sort of kind of online organisation that comes to playing darts, if you cheat, you're out. It should be as simple as that, really.
Sure.
But what I do like is the fact that it's open for everybody. It's not just, no, you need to pay to play on this, such as other online people who play darts. I'm not going to mention any names, of course, but there is other companies out there that are like, no, he's a pay to play and that's it, which to me isn't just viable.
We modelled our business model, I'll say loosely, on gaming. So I spent as much time gaming as I did playing darts growing up. And it's already proven in the industry that having a free section is a really good idea to allow people access to your product. Whereas if you have just paid, you are limiting those who, even if they're willing to, they won't do it unless they've actually seen how you run and how you manage things, which is absolutely fair in my opinion.
I definitely agree with that. So, Ricky, we're going to talk about the tour card for the DDO. What exactly is the digital darts tour card exactly? Can you just explain it to the viewers?
So, a best summary for this, if you like, is the digital darts online tour card. Sorry, forgot my own name. Then is your official access pass to essentially the upper tier of competition within the DDO. So it unlocks exclusive events, gives players priority entry into paid and prized leagues, and includes access to performance tracking, perks, and ranking systems. Think of it kind of as your personal badge of progress. A sort of online ambition in the world of darts, if you like. The idea is one subscription covers everything. You don't have to faff.
So I'm assuming with the tour cards, there's going to be the other players that have got tour cards are going to be able to track, say, their averages, their performances over X amount of games or tournaments.
Yeah, so we are cautious about bringing in features which are not ready. So what we've got at the moment, and we've been trialing it for our final free average base season, a set amount of stats that we know are working correctly on the website. We have others that we've not, that you can't see at the minute, that we're working on to get right. But because we're doing this from scratch, there is coding going on behind the scenes to make sure it's bang on. So it's not a case of just clicking a button, like back in the day, I might have used Naka Systems, for instance, which I absolutely fully hats off to them. They do a brilliant, service for those who want to organise leagues and serve, for themselves. But it's not a simple case for us of just starting up and going. We have to code it correctly. So initially, it'll be wins and average 100s, 180s, and 140s. I don't know why I did it that way around. And I've forgotten one of them. Legs, I believe it was. Leg difference, possibly. Although it is all on the website already, so...
That's all kind of stuff that most people are looking for anyway. I can't imagine most people are about to see how many doubles they missed in each game. It's something that's the only one they want to look out for. I'm terrible in the doubles, as you ken, when I've played you before. But I'm working on it. That's all I can do on it, unfortunately. But so how much is this tour card for the DDO going to cost? And obviously, what are the added benefits of having it?
Okay, to make this nice and simple, the cost of it is $9.99 per month. It is a subscription basis, and it means that you will be able to opt into any prize-based league or tournament. So, to give you an idea, you're about to compete in either Scolia or board cam events. You will have to choose which one. Otherwise, we'd have to lower the prizes if you were able to do both. So we kept it that you can do one or the other. However, don't panic. There's going to be plenty of events to keep you busy. In the actual subscription itself, you'll get unlimited access to all prized base leagues. So no more paying individual entry fees for each tournament or league. The main league, which we've now named the Tour League, is a traditional average base league. It should be running for 8 weeks with cash prizes for first, second, and third. We're going to have a faster mini league. Now, it's still going to be, we're going to call it the Grand Prix. It's still going to be 8 players, but it's only going to be 4 weeks of play, and it's only going to be a first to 4 legs, whereas the Tour League will actually be a first to 7 legs, which is obviously a significantly longer format. With it being shorter and the fact that we can get 2 of these leagues into every one Tour League, there is going to be prizes for first and second. But obviously, it's a faster turnaround, and that's not going to be average base. That's going to be a bit different. So you're going to be added onto the bottom, wherever you are, and you're going to work your way up through the leagues as we get more and more people. So it's more like your pub leagues in the sense that you truly don't know who you're going to come up against. It's not all average fix like it will be with the average base leagues for the Tour League. Then in addition to those, we're going to be doing regular knockout tournaments. So to begin with, we're going to be starting these up on a fortnightly basis. Every 2 weeks, there will be a Scolia and board cam competition launch, and there's going to be a physical prize for the winner. Now, from memory, and this hasn't been announced anywhere else yet, but from memory, the first tournament will be the Winmau-backed. I had to have a look because I forgot the name of them.
I will say just to note to everybody, the Winmau-backed, fantastic dart. I've done a video of them here on Scottish Live Darts channel. I have thrown them. I'm pretty sure Ricky has thrown them as well. Could be wrong with that. I'm pretty sure you said you'd thrown them before.
Yeah, right.
But fantastic dart. They're a great prize to win.
Yeah, absolutely. And the bonus as well I'll say about these knockout tournaments is they are going to be open to all averages initially. In the future, we'd like to break it down by average, but we'd need to get more prizes, which obviously is going to be going hand in hand with the growth of the platform. So to try and make it so lower average players have still got a chance, we've shortened the format on it because anyone can win in a shorter format. It just takes one good game. So we're only doing a first to 3 in these knockouts. So you should be able to run that in theory alongside your league matches without too much hassle to your own schedules. The idea is that the tour card gives players a more structured, rewarding and cost-effective way to complete regularly for real prizes and for cash.
You can't go wrong with having a chance to win prizes or even cash. I mean, especially with today's climate, cash is king.
Absolutely.
As they say. Will tour cards get exclusive access to events and leagues? I'm pretty sure we just covered that with the last question, but I want a wee bit more detail about it.
Pretty much, yes. So essentially, tour card holders, the only thing I've not mentioned, because I can't promise a date yet, is we have a long-term plan to develop a real-life competition as well. So I love online darts, but I'm also not blinded into thinking that you have to do online or real-life events. What's wrong with both? I can't see anything to stop us there. So in the long run, we would like the tour card holders to get either discounts or free entry, depending how we manage that, depending how things go with the group, to exclusive events. In addition to that, those people who are in these leagues and competitions, as we develop more competitions, that subscription will still cover everything. So if we do like a bonus, I'm going to throw this out there because loads of people do it, but let's say at the end of the year we went wild and did a World Cup event, you know, all those tour card holders would all be eligible across the board because they've paid and that is their subscription and they've got everything for that. That's the key thing.
And as you said, the online and real life darts shouldn't be something that you get to choose. You should be able to do both.
Yeah.
I mean, on occasion I do both. It's not very often I actually play an online game these days. Obviously, I've got a busy schedule, as you quite fully well know.
Yeah.
But I still try my best to get involved as much as I can. So, in terms of the online stuff, obviously, I feel as if even when I'm playing online, there's not as much pressure on you playing online as what there is in the real life situation. So it's going to be a benefit for the players who have the tour card to get the opportunity to do both. So with the new features and that you've added to the website, as we just explained, this seems to indicate there's going to be some major changes in the DDO. Can you walk us through what players can expect?
So in the short term, the changes, other than bringing the tool card in and having specific access to the paid areas, which will obviously show them all of their leagues and competitions, and obviously their scoring system, we'd like to be able to bring in an app, which is being sorted out behind the scenes. That has been stifled a little bit by money and time constraints, more so time than money, if I'm honest with you. It is coming, though. Now, the idea is it'll be an all-in-one system, and eventually you'll be able to do scoring on it as well. We're absolutely dedicated to this fact because we know one other organisation does integrated scoring with their website. That being said, we've got a bit of a different design for ours, and we're aiming to bring all of these sort of, at the beginning I said that it frustrated me that things were everywhere. So we're aiming to bring this all to one place. So the idea is we'll have an app. You'll be able to do your online leagues. You'll be able to do your scoring. In addition, those who want to score casually will be able to go on there. But this is some time off, to make this clear. I don't even have a launch date for you. That being said, I can tell you that every penny of profit, as it were, will be going back into developing these systems. We won't be taking anything out ourselves.
Probably a question I would have asked. I mean, I get it. Everything else goes straight into it. I mean, whatever money I make for running this channel obviously goes straight back into it. I don't take a penny out of it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't understand why anybody would. It should be something that you're putting back into whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. So, structure of the DDO be affected with the shift?
So with the shift away from just free, there will still be a free section, as I said. Essentially, there's going to be a two-part side to the website. So for those of you who play gaming, I keep coming back to it, but the model is the same. If you have a free account, you'll have access to all of the basic features with no restrictions, and then the paid will give you additional. That is literally how it's going to work for us. So the paid will give you all the competitions and all the website access to those areas. The free will remain available for anyone who's paying. And those ladder leagues that seem to have surprised a few people. And they seem to be quite popular as well. I think the idea of just starting straight away is quite appealing to some. When you put all of that together, you will find that the structure may not seem radically different, but for those who pay, there will be a lot more available.
And as I said, it's a fantastic idea to keep both kind of separate groups separate. Plus, they've still got the same access as what they would anyway, even if they weren't paying. So it makes sense.
So obviously, I have said that we have the statistics tracking coming in. We will be bringing a ranking and order of merit system out. It will not be ready for launch for the paid side. We need to do some more stuff on the back end of the website, which will mean that everything's more integrated, which will mean that you'll be able to win a match and have the order of merit side update, that side of things. At the moment, there is heavy amounts of manual input to this, which is why players, when they submit their results, only have to put a screenshot in, because we put that in ourselves. It is something we are very focused on delivering, but we wanted to make sure the actual events were live and players could actually play before we worried about what I consider the additional stuff.
I remember you had to put a lot of work in. You did all the minutes before, but it was attitude that, so it was usually maybe taking a day or two to sort all that out.
Yeah.
But as you said, it's a lot of hard work behind the scenes. You're only working with yourself and obviously Freaky Squirrel, sorry. So it's only the two of you doing the back-to-back kind of manual stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So integrating into the website in the future does sound as if it's going to be a bit simpler.
Yeah. And it will be better for the customer as well, because they will see everything all hooked up and linked together. So you'll see your statistics, you'll see your order and merit positions. You'll be able to compare yourself against other people of a similar average or against everyone.
Which is absolutely fantastic to hear. Obviously, I kind of hear wee bits here and there, but it's good to hear it all coming together for you. So are you planning to integrate the tour card into other features like match tracking or digital profiles?
So yeah, this is actually a really interesting one, and it's taken some time to implement, but is entirely on our third director, Jay, as it were. But we fully intend to add achievements to profiles, for one. Being able to track the averages means that ideally we want to be in a position that your player profile shows your running average in the DDO. That will be coming at some point. Again, some of these features I'm talking about are very early glimpses into what we're doing. Like, a lot of these things are not implemented at all yet, or they're just like early concept stages. Match tracking is a big one. I know that people do like going online and seeing what's happening with live matches as it happens. Until we get an integrated scorer, that will always be quite challenging. But when we get the integrated scorer, having a match tracking feature where you can actually watch it live is absolutely something we wish to deliver. Yeah, that's about it. I think on the digital profiles that I'm able to say at the minute. There are other things coming.
The prime example, I'm going to use a different place here, obviously, but this interview is about the DDO, but I'm going to use LiDARs as an example here, as you can go back and see your previous matches. I'm assuming that's the same kind of thing you're thinking of.
Yeah, we want to make it a bit more split up by division league and all that sort of stuff. But essentially.
It's the same idea.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. The biggest question up to now is everything has been free. How will this affect non-tour card holders? Will they still be able to participate and progress?
So obviously we have touched on that a little bit. Now, the big thing with this is, whilst having a paid option for 18 plus players is absolutely desirable, especially for us on our end, because building features cost money. I'm going to be blunt with you, it does. You can't have, we were discussing earlier, our emailing system, for instance, that has a monthly subscription on its own, let alone the website. With the free side of things, we felt it was very important for players to have something. This was more about underage players than it was about anyone else, but it's also important so people can try before you buy, as it were. I hate that term, but never mind. Now, we are going to be ending all average-based leagues with the exception of our Worldwide Indian League. We are keeping that going, but that's going to be sign up separately, and no one outside of that region will be able to sign up. We've already ensured that. We're doing that because we are working with some people over in India who are massively involved with the IDC, I think it is. Other than that, they will be on the free ladder leagues. There will be a Scolia ladder league, which is already existing, and a board cam ladder league. You'll be able to work your way up, and it's a persistent league as well, so it never stops. If you need to be away for a week, you just have to submit a ticket and let us know. Otherwise, you get timed out. But the rules are pretty simple when people actually read them.
That is the biggest issue with anything, even if it's online leagues or even real life. People not reading the rules they just expect it to work their way. There's rules in place for a reason.
Yeah.
Right. So what kind of feedback have you had so far about the cost of the tour card? Obviously, there's going to be people that are going to moan about it because people do like a moan. So
that's fair. I'll give you that. That's absolutely fair. Truth is, without trying to sound like I'm fluffing it up, we've had a lot of good feedback. Now, I can pretty much, I think, explain why. $9.99 is the lower end of the subscription-based models in this industry. It's not the lowest. I know there is one lower. There might be more that I don't know of, but there's definitely one lower. And obviously the sort of market leader is definitely higher as well. I've played there. Now, I think if it was just a case we were charging $9.99 and giving nothing back, there'd be a lot of resistance. I'm going to start with the negatives, which no one ever does. I'm going to turn around and say, look, up front, a couple of people have said they're not going to do it because they're unwilling to have another subscription in their life when they're already paying X, Y, and Z to, Amazon or whoever else that they do. It's fine. Personal choice. You've still got access to the free ladder league and the Twitch league as well, the live one. Now, with the positive side of it, I've also had a couple of people turn around and try and say that, what am I paying for? Well, in every case, they have turned into a decent conversation without question. That is because we've explained 8 players work out to just shy of £160 over 8 weeks. Okay, at $9.99 a month. We have worked out, if those 8 people playing all of the events, the money that will be going out will be £120 in pure cash prizes, When you take away our fees for transactions and also for the postage of the prizes for the tournaments, it'll actually be about 130. I've got my maths wrong there. It's £10 more than that. It's 130 we're giving out in cash and leaving 140. So there'll be £20 left over. With that £20, one, it's not that much left over, and two, that is also going back into the platform to develop more opportunities for the players. So far, then, the fact that it is, quite easy, it is just under a tenner, and those people who pay for a year actually will get 2 months free. They'll only be paying for 10 months, as a side note. So generally, it's been positive feedback, to be quite honest with you. I've not had much in the way of negativity. It just seems to be people who can't afford it, which I understand. I was there myself at different times in my life.
And as you said, a tenner isn't much to pay. You're getting more for your money paying the tenner a month for the DDO, but you're playing the league, because you're going to go out and spend more money on, let's say, if you drink alcohol, for example, you're going to go out and spend the fortune. So you're still saving money.
Yeah.
Regardless.
And you've got to remember as well, so there's so many different ways to win that it's highly likely that as a player you will win somewhere. So if you don't feel like you're going to win the knockout tournaments because you're not a higher average, that's fine. You may not. It's possible. I'm not going to pretend there's going to be winners and losers. It's the nature of darts. Then, you may go into the average base league and win there. If you don't win in the average base league, you may win depending on how it lands with the random order of people joining in the tiered base Grand Prix league. You may win there, and if you don't, you've got the next 4 weeks to try and win there. So there's loads of opportunity. That's probably what I'd say.
Yeah. The tour card that you have developed has opened up so many different avenues, obviously, for the players within the DDO. I'm just going to revert back to using attitude that here's an example. It's completely different from what it was then to now, which is obviously fantastic. How, if at all, do you predict the change is going to help online players grow competitively and personally? Obviously, players on the
online darts can be as positive for you. We'll talk about the player side first before the personal. For you to improve your game, online darts can be as good or as bad as you want it to be. If you speak to any darts coach out there, they'll all turn around and tell you, practicing with a purpose. Well, okay, what better purpose than playing against someone in a competitive environment? Just because you're not in person, it doesn't make this any less competitive. And for those who are, wanting to try and make it a little bit more realistic in regards to the real life waiting and talk, you know what I mean? They still have the option of the free Twitch League, which we run every Saturday night as well. And I know, everyone who's played an online darts match in that Twitch League knows it is the nearest thing to the nerves of a real life night you can get. Those stream nerves, as we call it, are real.
I've been there, as you know, I've been there myself with the stream nerves. I've had my hands up and admit to it. It is a scary concept, especially if it's something you've never done before.
Absolutely. Oh, and I forgot to answer the personal side of it. It's a bit of a funny one because I've seen people play in real life leagues and quit and never go back to darts. And it wasn't because they hated darts. It was because they couldn't get along with the people. My partner spends many hours of her life in a day-to-day job, as it were, working and supporting people with neurodivergence and that sort of thing. So I know loads of people who are really good at darts, personally enjoy it, and then have quit just because they don't feel like they belong or can fit in. Well, you're online. You don't need to belong or fit in if you don't want to. You can just play your games and enjoy it. So you still have that personal ability to be able to play the sport that you love against people in a competitive environment, or as competitive as you can get at home, and then still be in a position you're not feeling down about it because you're with, the old school players that looking down at you or anything like that. Even if that's only in your head, it's real to the person. So that's where I think it can help grow a person.
I completely agree with you there. I mean, real life, when I first started playing in the league I'm in just now, I felt the exact same way. With the team I was in at the time, I was like, I don't feel as if I belong in this team. I'm no, but then I started playing online at the start of Attitude Darts, and it was different, but at the same time, it was just the same sort of nerves. But since then, obviously, you notice the difference when you do more. You need to do these things to obviously get better at it.
Mm-hmm.
So, with the tour card being a paid option, will the tour card help bridge casual and competitive players, or will it mainly focus on the elite level?
This one's an interesting one because I've had conversations with people about this because of the money argument, as it were. I think we've actually managed to cater to both, and if something doesn't quite land how we expect, we will look to develop the platform further. But the idea between, so you've got sort of two levels of casual players, if you like. You've got your free players. We've absolutely catered to that with the ladder league. We've also got those who don't mind sticking a few pounds into it. They're not too worried if they win or not, but they want to play that little bit more competitively while still enjoying their day and enjoying their matches and playing their game. With the elite level, this one's a bit of a funny one. So as we grow, I would expect the elite side to grow with us. Our top end averages at the minute are pushing up to around about 75, 80 averages. That's on our free leagues, obviously. It's not going to be focused there, but there's definitely the goal to have a proper elite level platform for those people who want to compete at the next level. At the same time, we also want to encourage those who are not there yet to develop their game to get better. In the long run, we look to collaborate and hopefully work with some darts coaches and people like that to be able to offer more services to the people that are playing to get them there. And those who don't want to, that's fine. Just enjoy it. Have fun.
That's what it should be. It should be all about having fun. And as you said, you've got something down the line about trying to bring coaches in. That's obviously great to hear, because the darts coaches that you kind of see run about are either you're trying to do it their way or you're doing it. You kind of know who I'm kind of briefly going on about here anyway, because we've discussed it in the past.
Yeah.
So I can kind of get an idea that if you're bringing a professional coach in, it's going to be ideal. So are there any plans to collaborate with any other organisations or brands through the tour card system?
So a bit wider than just the tour card system. We do have brands that we work with. We are currently partnered with a Winmau and a Red Dragon. Technically the No Door group, but they're all together. They have been absolutely brilliant. They've provided us with prizes ready for this first iteration of the tour card launch. They're sat over on my shelf over there gathering dust at the minute, but they'll be all out to you guys soon enough. We did, of course, originally work with Bulls Germany. They were brilliant, but obviously as we've moved on to Winmau and Red Dragon, it's important to recognise, those who helped us at the start. And they did provide a few of our players with boards, which was absolutely fantastic. And in addition to that, we've got a couple of unexpected sponsors that people I don't think they expected us to go with. So Stone, Hugh and Moss Solicitors, they have just sponsored us for some apparel and cash behind the scenes, basically. In addition to that, we, of course, have got the ongoing partnership with Ink Apparel. Yeah, it's a bit of a complicated and complex one, this, because Winmau and Red Dragon are where the focus are, because they obviously specifically working with us on the dart stuff. Ink Apparel provide our shirts. Simple as that. I thought about wearing it today, but I ended up not because I had this one to hand. As you know, sort of working with the additional partners when it comes to growth in the community is massive, because you can't do this on your own. It's not possible. And it's also...
You definitely need a network to help with the growth side of it. At the start, when I first started Scottish Lad Dutch channel, I thought I'd just do it all myself. Didn't get anywhere, so you need to reach out and ask for help. That's what other people in the community are here for. Well, they're supposed to be.
Absolutely. And we've been very fortunate that it's not just brands that have been helping. We've actually had members donate prizes, share us out. That when it comes to collaboration, the collaboration's everywhere. Yourself, you've helped us by sharing our information and stuff over the last couple of years, back in Attitude Darts and in the DDO.
Back in Attitude Darts, I'm pretty sure I provided prizes and stuff as well, because obviously I was happy to be a part of it. I had excess amount of stuff, which I still currently do. So there might be some more stuff coming your way towards prizes at some point when I actually sort through my stuff.
That'd be amazing. I'm sure the guys would love that. But so the truth is, we do have plans to keep working with organisations and brands, but our focus is to work primarily with Winmau and Red Dragon, and we have permission, incidentally. So kind of your stage 1 relationship to be using the Scolia branding on our website from Scolia directly, of course. And we're allowed to say that we are powered by them, which I quite like the wording of power. Jeremy Clarkson.
Yes. I mean, obviously the Scolia system is a fantastic piece of kit in itself. So it's ideal that they're actually willing to work with you with that. And obviously Winmau and Red Dragon are just a huge brand or network to be working with, so to speak. The love triangle of darts, Nodor, Winmau and Red Dragon.
Nodor, Winmau, Red Dragon, they seem to work with Scolia, although I don't know how much. It's just from looking at it from an outside perspective. Judging by the fact that the Scolia system supports obviously the Blade 6 triple core and all of the Blade boards. So it's it was surprising, and it's took some work to get here. Now we're just trying to repay the faith and make sure that, not only our members get the best possible deal by the support from these guys, but also, these guys get mentioned and shared around as well, because second to none, the support has been brilliant.
I mean, I've had support for Winmau and Red Dragon before, and I'll have to agree with you there. They're fantastic to work with. They're so easy to get in contact with as well, which I've actually found in comparison to other brands where you're waiting 3, 4, 5 weeks for a response. So Winmau and Red Dragon are usually pretty quick as well.
Yeah.
So with the tour card being fully digital, will there be any real life events held, and will the tour card holders get any benefits from it?
I did mention before that we do plan to do real life events. The goal, we've got 2 goals for real life events. Stage 1 goal when we start releasing them will be to have 2 to 4 in a year. Now that would very much depend on the situation we're in, what the income's looking like, and also what availability we have for people being able to support us, because real life events take more than one person, really, if you're going to do them off your own doorstep. Once this is up and running and we're getting regular people turn up to these events, we have a longer term ambition. Sorry if you heard that, my little boy's making squeaks out there. We do have a longer term ambition to create a network of events across the country, and Northern Ireland, I might add, and possibly Scotland as well. It will all depend on who I can get, who will be willing to run the events in each region, because I can't physically be at all of these events. It's just way out of reasonable ability. Once we've managed that, the idea is we'd do knockout tournaments across the country, and then we've got a big venue we can use, and there'll be qualification for this venue over the course of a year, with the finals being somewhere towards the end of the year with a bigger prize. That's the goal. I don't expect this to happen overnight, and it will only happen quicker with more growth, putting it bluntly, on the online platform, because one hand in hand with the other, it kind of feeds, and it's a symbiotic relationship. It builds up together.
Yeah. And obviously, when you were saying there's going to be, down the line, there's going to be obviously tournaments and stuff in like Northern Ireland and Scotland, which is absolutely fantastic. You don't get a lot up here in Scotland, for obviously live in Scotland. There's not a lot up here, so it's kind of ideal. But I do have some ideas about that, which we'll talk about away from this.
Yeah.
So we can discuss that at some point. But will you be tracking any statistics and performances over time for the tour card holders? I'm pretty sure we've touched on it, but
top stats. Yeah. Top stats will be what we do initially, and it'll be global. So because we're separating Scolia and Boardcam users, we have no need to separate them on the stat page, because you can only be in one tour league, whether you're on Scolia or Boardcam. You can only be in one Grand Prix, whether you're on Scolia, and so on. So, yes, long story short, it'll be launched and you'll be able to track it straight away. And free players will be able to track their tour card player statistics as well. One thing I will say, whilst Ladder League players can see their stats on their Ladder League table, it will not be on the global stats. That's very important for people to understand because of how it works. It's just, could I set it up that way? Yes, but it would absolutely ruin any cohesion and any form of viability, really, of it being a global table.
Yeah. And obviously, as you say, there's going to be a Scolia side. I'm pretty sure on the Scolia You can obviously correct me if I'm wrong. You've got Schoolite, I do not. You can track all your stuff on the Schoolite app anyway, can you not?
Yes, you can track your own individual stats. Obviously, it's a little bit more. It's a little bit different if you want to try and work out just your league stats, though.
Right, okay. Yes. As I say, I've no had experience with Schoolite in quite a while, to be fair. So, best person to ask is yourself, haven't one.
Scolia, you need to
So-
get this man a Scolia.
See, get us one a Schoolite. Rumour has it you are looking at an app. Obviously, we've touched on it. So, firstly, is it true? And secondly, what's it going to look like? We've kind of touched on it, but if you want to expand on it a wee bit.
Yeah, so obviously it's true. We are going to be bringing an app. We'll probably find that phase one of the app will be more about communication, but
Yeah.
the completed look of the app will be you can do everything from your phone. That's the goal. You can go on your phone, you can do your messages, you can do your match. Can you imagine that? A bit like you put the phone up on you and you can have it as a camera and the scorer if you've only got the one device. In addition, you can submit your results if you're not doing it that way around. You know, you can do independent scoring. Down the line as well, a bit of a sneaky hint for you, we will be looking at having an integrated forum to the website, which will also be available on the app. We are bringing this to become the single central hub where you can do everything. Now, it's going to take time, probably years to get everything up and running, but we will not stop and absolutely set on making this a one place. Make it easy. Like, why is online darts difficult? It's a nightmare. If you go across all of it, a couple of places have done it better than others. Up front, they have.
Yep.
But even then, there's big, massive gaps. So, like, a common one is you'll sign up to an organisation and you got to wait 3 weeks until the first match. Or you sign up to a forum, but it's not relevant to any leagues. So then you're asking, where can I go and play leagues? It's just, it is absolutely unbelievable how spread out it is across the industry.
And obviously, if you're going to be planning on doing this on the app, I'm assuming, obviously, at the moment you use Discord. So I'm assuming that'll be kind of, you're moving away from Discord onto the app.
So this is a funny one. The Discord that we use is more about community and being able to engage. So it's a little bit like, I can't believe I'm using a gaming reference again. Sorry to you all. But there's many times you'll get a game, you'll be able to play a game. You can even talk to them in game, but your community area for day-to-day chat can obviously be in the Discord. We will probably keep this because we will use it anyway for the Twitch League. But it's really just a community place. It's not where we do our actual serious matches and stuff, although people can use it for cameras in the meantime. The majority of the day-to-day stuff is already done on our website. You arrange your games on the website chat. You know, you get notifications on there. We've just updated our notification system, actually, so you can see a few extra notifications that have come up now. Obviously, we'll continue to update this so everything is easier. And then once there is an app, obviously, it'll be much easier for the chat to be working because it will just pop up on your mobile phone.
Which is absolutely fantastic, of course. Well, I will leave a link for the Discord in the description if anybody wants to go jump in and say hello to Ricky. It does get back to you sometimes with a big bear emoji. Obviously, Ricky is a busy man running all this behind the scenes, as well as having kids himself, similar to myself. And obviously, holidays coming up soon as well. I just use a naughty word there.
Yeah. Don't tell me holiday.
But as I said, I'll leave a link in the description for any Twitch, Discord, kind of all that kind of stuff as well. What does success look like for you with the launch of Tour Card?
So, sort of success, and then there's like unbelievable success. Success for us, essentially, we've got very moderate goals because we're very reasonable about what we think's achievable. Success to us is just making sure there's at least one league in each of the leagues and a knockout tournament that's functional. We can build upon that. Unbelievable success, if you like, something that would be shouting about from the rooftops. What's that? The rooftops would be if we can get 2 or 3 divisions in both the Scolia and board camp category, that would be another level. Considering we're going from a free market model to a paid one in a very short amount of time, because we've only been up and running for 6 months, honestly, that's kind of where we're looking at. I mean, even if we don't hit the one division, we won't view it as a failure. We'll just simply view it as we need to change something then. Simple.
Makes it all easier to do for yourself. Obviously, you've been working hard on the DDO. As we know, it started off as Attitude Darts, and it's just kind of leveled up, so to speak, in gaming terms. It has leveled up to being the DDO as today, and so far it has been very, very successful from what I've seen. Obviously, I do quite a lot of watching of the DDO behind the scenes. Obviously, I've not always got time to practice, which is unfortunate, but that is going to change because I do plan on coming back to play in these free leagues.
Dun, dun, dun.
That was just a wee insider there, and I do plan on coming back for the Content Creator Premier League. Obviously, it was great fun and really enjoyed that. And I'll be the first one to get a 180 in that as well, just saying.
Oh dear, I knew you was going to say something about it again.
I kind of hugged it. It was an achievement.
I feel like we need, I don't know if any of you played World of Warcraft, but you know the achievement ping.
That's what we need right there, that, and then a gamer score or something underneath it. 180 G. Where do you see the tour card system in 1 to 2 years, both in terms of player base and innovation?
Innovation I'll start with, because player base is a bit of a loaded question. So innovation wise, I'm going to say by 2 years, because I don't want to put unnecessary pressure, because we're always finding new challenges we didn't expect. Now, so let's say 2 years, I'd be aiming to have this as an all-in-one integrated platform. I would like to have our score up and running by then, forums active and running, and obviously everything just in a case that it's very easy to use. You know, you do your payment and it's automated on the back end of the website, as it were. So as things stand, when you'll set up your subscription, me or someone like me will be sitting there and just changing your profile role on the website just to indicate you're a subscriber to give you access to those areas. Having that all automated is obviously a big thing, so that will give us sort of the platform to be able to grow. Now, from the point of view of player base, as you've probably realised, we've got very modest goals when it comes to starting. Our view for online darts is, if we get this right, we could be the top online darts provider, whatever that looks like in each of your minds. That's nothing to do with anyone else. It's more to do with the fact that we aim to bring more and give more and have things ready to go. So, for instance, you know, joining at any point in the season, you don't want to be waiting if you're paying a subscription to be able to play. So it's very key for us that you only have a short period of time waiting to be able to play your first event. As long as you sign up to the event, obviously, that's up to you. A couple of years' time, we would be looking in the multiple hundred people. Probably more, if I'm honest. I'm being a bit cautious. Multiple hundred players, and we will be able to really highlight the achievements and successes of those players. We've had some amazing achievements already, some really high scores, some really low legs. And honestly, we just want to be able to celebrate that, enjoy online darts together, and have a platform for everyone, to be quite honest with you. It's about time that it existed, so let's do it.
I mean, online darts has obviously been huge since COVID, so what everything you're saying is stuff that should have already been in the darts community as a whole, the development of online darts.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, as you touched on there, I should say, the waiting times for some of these other organisations is a bit long. I mean, at one point I was talking to someone on Twitter, I think it was last week or the week before, and he had a month and a half to wait before the next season of his games. So that's a long time to think for a paid organisation.
Yeah, and that's why we've done so obviously, you know, the tour league is going to be 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a 1 week gap. We have to do that. We've got no choice to be able to restart and reset up the fixtures. But that's the reason we're doing the 2 4-week ones in the middle, and then also breaking it down further every 2 weeks, having a knockout tournament. So you've literally got 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks. Like the longest wait there, whichever way you cut it, is 2 weeks, and that's if you sign up 1 day after you've missed it.
And obviously that's absolutely ideal for a lot of players that don't want to have to wait the month and a half, like I just said, for the next batch of games. I mean, that's a long time to wait, to be fair. think about it, especially with some of the amount of money people are paying into these organisations.
Yeah.
Finally, what would you say to someone on the fence about paying for a tour cap?
There's a couple of things I could say, and I'm going to say two things because it's going to be dependent upon your personal situation. Firstly, if you're unsure just because you're curious about the services but you don't really know us, come and have a go at the Ladder League. It's free. What you got to lose? You just need an email and your name. The end. But if you do sign up, please play your games. The other thing is, if you're concerned about the payment ratios and all that stuff, definitely have a look at the video we recently released. The proper breakdown and information about how much we're paying out to how much we're taking in. We touched on it earlier in this video, but it's more black and white on there and clear for everyone to view. And finally, if you're already paying other organisations where you're paying per league, you're paying, it's a faff. You have to mess around with it. This will remove any, stress, any wondering if you got the money this month, because you can just time your subscription to be when you're paid. Job done. You never have to worry about it or think about it, and you just play. Focus on the match, not the worrier. That's what I'll say.
I mean, I said it's a once a month payment rather than, I know some of the organisations, obviously I'm not going to name them because that's not fair to the other organisations, but you're paying your fees for playing and then you're paying per match as well. It's like, why would you have to pay per match if you're paying a fee to them for actually playing in the organisation in the first place? So the DDO is obviously going to be the best place for that, in my opinion at least. Obviously I've worked quite a bit with the DDO, so I'm a wee bit biased towards the DDO. The DDO, I do apologise. But the comparisons are night and day, at least in my opinion, between the DDO and the other online organisations. The DDO is number one in my book. You heard it here first.
Thank you.
So that was me, Kieran, from Scottish Lad Darts channel, with Ricky the Beard Barber, the founder of the Digital Darts Online, or the DDO, not the BDO, like I said about 30 seconds ago. But as I said, the Digital Darts Online is growing a hell of a lot. It's all over social media, so search on social media, check out the website, all the links in the description video, and I'm pretty sure I'll be able to add the Twitch where you'll be able to watch all of these events live on Twitch when they're active in the description as well. But thanks everybody for taking the time to watch this. Stay safe out there, and of course, keep on darting.
It's our passion. Keep on dancing.